I'm going to say good morning, even though it's actually afternoon. It's, what is today? Sunday, I guess. Sunday afternoon, the 6th, but this video will not go public until tomorrow morning around 4:44 a.m. on the 7th. Anyway, I made up my mind early this morning that I'm going to do it that way, perhaps for a little while. We'll see how it plays out. And there's a reason for that, but I don't need to go into that at this point in time. In any case, I had an idea for the video that I was going to do today for tomorrow, and it was going to be dealing with rights versus privileges, especially in relationship to driving versus traveling. However, I'll save that for yet another day in the future, because a certain email exchange between me and another individual triggered the title or the topic for today's video. And it's learning how the corrupt system works is what I am titling this. And my blurb goes like this, and I'm going to actually do more reading than just the blurb. I'm going to share some of the email exchange that triggered this topic. Anyway, the blurb goes like this. Since beginning my awakening, I have studied many things in regard to the matrix and how it works. I have come to this conclusion. Virtually everything is a lie, and almost nothing of what we have been taught is true. Many still believe, or would at least like to believe, that they have found the missing piece of understanding. I get people all the time wanting me to watch long seminars given by some guru with the latest method of liberating ourselves from the fraud. People often begin with the promise that we must first understand the system, especially how the system uses language, time, dates, numbers, and other things to accomplish its fraudulent ends, the control of everything. I might see something else or something more in the future. Right now, I am simply tired of learning all this shit. I don't want a guru, and I sure as hell don't want to be anyone's guru myself. I don't want to trust anyone or have anyone trust me. I want to learn to trust myself, all of me. I want to be whole, integrated, and simply loving life in all of its simplicity and complexity. I know enough about how the system works, and I'd like to do everything in my power to change it for everyone, including myself. I want to cooperate, not to compete over who has the correct understanding. We each have our own piece of the puzzle. As I said, this topic was triggered by me reading my emails. I got the first one this morning, and then I responded. She is Miss Just Another Human on YouTube, and she's actually, her name is Tammy Peppermint. And she's a marvelous teacher. I've watched some of her videos. I've had other people refer her to me. I haven't always watched everything that people sent me about her, but she's one of the people like Santos Bonacci and David Wilcock, Manly Hall, and many others that are teaching very good things, and I have gained much benefit from listening to these that I've named and others that I did not name. Anyway, she wrote, "You are out of your realm, doll, and asking the court to accept your affidavit. Not wise. The meaning of the term should have stopped you there, Ron. Pared down definition, it means fox excrement, according to Black's law. Congress is the New World Order, its policy. They will never do what is needed until suit against the bishops of the Seste Qui Vi are initiated. On the header of my channel is a source you need, all in capital letters. And I don't email, I keep it all public. So please just listen and learn. I know you can do this." And I wrote, and I didn't realize it was Tammy Peppermint at that point. I wrote, "The use of private meanings of words by the legal society without explaining those meanings to the people in general is fraud. There is no statute of limitations against fraud. We should not need to learn their meanings. We need to require them to act honorably, which they do not. I've learned enough to know that whatever I learn is simply one more thing for the criminals to ignore. It makes no difference whatsoever. And she wrote back, "Oh, wow. So not learning how they defraud us all is foolish. How do you think they get to keep doing it? Either watch the video or cease and desist this ridiculous pursuit of equity. You will have none until you learn their terms. And now I know why we are stuck where we are at. Good people once again ignoring what is in front of them. Cap letters change meanings to legal terms in case you're unaware. Now, dang it, I have waited long enough for you all to get it together and start working together." She continues in the next part of her response. "Please do yourself a favor, watch the videos, as there are several. The one video that she's recommending is 2 hours long. The one at the head of my channel will explain more than you can begin to imagine. It's why I walked away from people to start with. And then you blocked me, because I called out Rusa for what it was, another fraud. Please, Ron, I have hung around this long for you all to get closer to the actual ability, not hyperbole. ChooseOurSide.org. I guess that's a web page. I didn't look it up. You can see her frustration. I have felt a very similar frustration. Why won't people get it? Why won't people pay attention? I have learned how the system works. I have listened to hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And I mean, I purposely kept repeating that because it has been so many hours that I have spent studying this thing. I know a lot about it. Do I know everything? I'm sure I don't. I don't have all the pieces of the puzzle, but I've heard this one teach that, and this one teach another thing. And everybody what they teach has value. And I've resonated with so much of what is being taught. And I'm sure I've resonated with some of the things that Tammy said. I didn't even realize I ever blocked her. I mean, I didn't know that. Maybe she was under a different name or something then. And I didn't know. You know, I didn't know that this Ms. Just Another Human was Tammy. Again, I would never say anything bad about her. I don't have anything to say that's bad about her, or any of the other teachers. There's some of them that seem very stuck on themselves, whom I won't name, that come across as egomaniacs, and I'm sorry, I don't resonate with that. And I base everything that I study, I base it on resonance. How does it feel as I'm reading it, or as I'm watching it, as I'm hearing the words, and what energy is coming off their demeanor? Are they coming across as a know-it-all, or somebody that's compassionate and loving and kind? If they're coming across as a know-it-all, even if they've got great stuff, and I have watched, I don't remember the guy who talks about syntax, syntax. And using language and understanding the syntax of language. And he's created a whole new language to deal with legal terms. Folks, I mean, let's get real, please. Let's get real. We know if we're paying attention at all, if we're at all aware of the world that we live in, we know that something is drastically amiss. Something is terribly wrong with human society and human culture. Terribly wrong. It's even a shame to call it culture. It's not culture. It's violence. It's coercion. It's horrific. I mean, people are committing crimes against other people, and the people that are committing the most crimes against the most people are people that wear nice suits and ties and nice shirts and dwell in palaces or penthouse apartments or something like that. These are the wealthiest people in the entire world. and they do the most, commit the most crimes against humanity. That's the reality of the world we live in. You may not want to believe it. And I'm sorry if you can't see that. But that's the truth. These are the people that make the rules because they abide by a different golden rule than you and I were taught. We were taught that the golden rule meant do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But the golden rule that they play by is he who has the gold makes the rules. Now it's interesting as I'm saying that Mr. Sino has the gold, and they don't want him to make the rules because he actually has a heart for the people. God forbid that one of their own, one of their wealthiest people who actually is sitting in a place of power and authority, they still don't want to release the funds. And I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe it's people in Europe that are making those decisions, and possibly people in the United States as well. These are not like, it's not like Obama. Obama does what he's told. He's a puppet. He's not a real human being. Well, he is a real human being, but the role that he's playing is not human. You know, he's playing an artificial role. He's a puppet. He speaks what he's being told to speak, and he does what he's being told to do. He doesn't live for himself, and it's perhaps impossible or very difficult for anybody in that position to be genuine, to be authentic, to be honest, because the whole system is not honest. It's corrupt. And we need to understand that we live in a corrupt system. And somehow we need to come up with whatever it takes within us and working together cooperatively to take out of power these people that are psychopathic maniacs and want to control everything. They are the representation of your ego and my ego. They are. I know that. I get it. And we all need to understand that everything we see out there is also in each of us. It's in us, and there's. Well, I just wrote an email to somebody. Let me just see if I can find that response that I made just earlier today. Anyway, I talked to somebody about feeling guilty because I'm not getting done everything that I want to get done. And I'm giving you a little bit more insight into me. She was talking to me about not knowing who to trust. You know, she'd like to trust the teachers, but she doesn't know. Anyway, here's what I wrote back. I'm not starting the very beginning of it. I had a long conversation with my daughter. I told her the same thing I've said to you and others. Trust your heart and gut. I do not ask anyone to trust me. I cannot make anyone else's decisions or be responsible for their life. We are each responsible only for our own life, our own decisions, even if we like the false security of letting someone else tell us what they think we should do. It's true. The same is true of following some guru or spiritual authority. You are you. Decisions are up to you and you alone. Like many people, I sometimes bite off more than I can chew properly. Then I feel badly because I cannot follow through to the extent I'd like. I am responsible for this, no one else. The truth is, I will never be able to get everything done that I'd like to do. As a condition of my choice to take on a human body and experience, I must deal with certain limitations that are part of physical existence. Therefore, I do realize that my feelings of guilt are really about the conflict within me, not being able to do all that I'd like to do. It's not the devil or anyone else's fault. I accept that as truth. I enjoy our conversations, and for what it's worth, for what that is worth, and I realize the struggle you reflect back to me is part of my own. We are not alone in that at all. There is something or someone trying very hard to get us to see the bigger picture. To me, that is God. This is, for all of us, a time of awakening. It is also a time of reconciliation as God is bringing us home, since we are all part of His body. That's all for now. I send you love and accept you where and as you are in this and every moment, which, if you notice, is actually a message to me from my own higher self. You are simply another part of me, which is Christ in us all. I've given you some insight into not only my struggle, but the struggle of others that are trying to wake humanity up. We each have something valuable to offer, yet none of us has all the answers. Not a single one of us. And you must take responsibility for your own response, your own reaction to whatever is being shared by anyone, by everyone, because it's your life. It's your life. Yes, we can learn all about how the corrupt system works, but ultimately it's knowing how we work. And for each of us to allow ourselves to integrate as much as we're able to integrate at any given time. And by integrate, I mean take in all of the contradictions, transmute them, transform them into something that you can live with, that you can be comfortable with for yourself in your life today. And tomorrow's another day. Thank you for listening. Namaste.